So guys, this is the end of the growing season, and today I'm going to be talking about rebuilding your garden soil, adding a lot of nutrition, and it's going to be very inexpensive to do and very easy to do for next spring. So next spring's crop will be better than this year's by following along with these few simple guidelines. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the garden, and anything that's died from the frost, I'm going to break it down into the smallest pieces, pick up any of the, like these cherry tomatoes, and I'm going to in-ground compost them in the bed, the next bed over that I'm working on, and just adding more nutrients to that soil than there is this year. By doing this each year, I'm building up that soil. So guys, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to do trench composting in the beds for next year. I'm just going to dig a shallow trench on one side of the bed and put all the debris and leftovers from this year's garden into the trench. So now I'm going to add as much as I can to this trench and allow it to decompose throughout the winter. Tomatoes, cucumbers, anything I have left over, I'm going to put it on this side of the trench, and on the other side I'm going to add another really great thing to add to your garden, and it's so plentiful this time of the year that almost everyone has it in their yard. So guys, in addition to the whole cherry tomato plants, I'm also adding a lot of the cherry tomatoes that I was unable to get to before we had our first frost, and they've all spoiled on the ground, so I wasn't able to use them. But I'm going to add that to the trench as well, and then come in with some direct additives. I'll show you exactly what those are now. So guys, one of my favorite things to use in each 4x8 bed is I put one bag of black cow per year per 4x8 bed, and I think that really makes a huge difference. It really has a lot of micronutrients in it, and is really going to speed up the decomposition of all the plants I just put into the bed. So guys, another thing I like to add is blood meal, and it's a nitrogen-based product. It's made completely from animals, and it is 100% organic. So I'm going to add a really heaping container of this. This is about 4 tablespoons per, and I'm going to add about 3 of these per row. I'm going to do the same thing with blood meal. It has a high phosphorus count, and that's really going to help as well. So I'm going to add 3 of these as well. This is about 4 to 5 tablespoons. So guys, one thing that I have massive quantities of is leaves. I have more large trees in my yard probably than anything else, and it produces just massive mountains of leaves. So I can have bucket after bucket added, but there's a secret to adding the leaves. You want to make sure you run over them with your lawnmower and break them down into the smallest pieces possible. That's going to speed up the decomposition. You don't want to put whole leaves because that could take up to 2 years for them to completely break down. So just remember, you want to run over them at least 2 times to break them down into their smallest pieces. And with this particular last cutting of the season, I'm getting a little bit of green in there too. So I'm not only getting browns, but I'm getting some green. So I'm getting my carbon, and I'm getting a little bit of nitrogen left from the last grass cutting. So guys, another thing that really helps my garden is to have my own composter, and this one was super simple to make. It's made from a trash can, and it took less than 30 minutes to put together. So I'll link a video up above that shows you exactly how to make it. And guys, another thing you can do is you can plant a cover crop like field peas, fava beans, or oats, and let them grow up a little bit, and then push them down, cover them with leaves, and those can act as a decomposition to add to the soil. But another thing is they draw nitrogen directly from the atmosphere, put it into the root system, and so that will be a great aid to your garden as well. So if you decide you want to do cover crops, that's one thing that you can really speed up next year's garden and make it produce even more. Now, another thing a lot of people don't think about, but if you add worms directly to your beds, that can be a great benefit as well. And you can buy worms at pet stores because a lot of times those are fed to reptiles. but you can also get them at bait shops if you live close to a large bait shop, like I'm trying to think of the name of it, but it's a large nationwide chain. They sell worms as well. So they can be found at a lot of different places in mid-sized cities, and you can probably find it even in smaller cities. So guys, this is my burn pit, and it is constantly being filled with limbs, things that I'm cutting down, things that die, limbs that fall and break. But it is just massive amounts of one of the most important things you can add to your garden, and that's wood ash. You'll simply burn it and add it to the top layer of soil, maybe mix it into the top quarter to half an inch, and then water it in. So guys, another thing you can add to your planting bed is leaf mold, and that's usually found in almost all forests. You just dig down in an area, collect about the top 3 to 4 inches, and add that to your bed. It is so filled with microbes, it's actually one of the most important things you can add to your vegetable garden. So guys, one of the last things I'm going to add is I'm going to do a very light dusting on top of the bed with some diatomaceous earth to kill off any insects that might be in here, and it might stop them from laying eggs and sprouting out early and attacking my vegetables next year early in the spring. So one of the ways I like to spread diatomaceous earth so I don't waste it is I put it in a kitchen strainer and lightly tap it, and it really very quickly covers the top layer, and then I'll come back in with another layer of the shredded leaves and put that on top, and then that will help throughout the rest of the fall, winter, and early spring. So guys, another thing I'm going to do next spring is when I come in to plant everything, I'm going to add a 1 to 2 inch layer of extremely finely shredded pine mulch, and you can use any type of mulch. But one thing I always recommend is use very finely shredded. I once used the large pine mulch, and it takes a lot longer to decompose. So this smaller mulch decomposes at 2 to 3 times the rate of the large mulch. So just remember, you can get this in America at a store called Lowe's, and it's called soil conditioner. So guys, I hope you'll remember to put your beds to sleep this fall and have them ready to go next spring. By doing all of these things, it'll be twice as good. Your harvest will be much better, and your beds, your soil will grow each year. When you get used to doing this, it'll just be part of your annual chores to do, and it'll make your garden bloom so much better. So guys, if there's anything I left out, I hope you'll leave it in the comments down below. I really appreciate you watching, and if you got something out of it, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.